I don't speak Spanish, but I did learn a few phrases. But one of the lads taught me that one, and I got it all wrong, and everyone laughed. And I think it's in the outtakes for your pleasure. But
ready, set, hike.
This is going to be even more work than you imagine.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, depending where you're at today.
it would be good morning here in LA. Thank you, Lupe.
Well, great story. I really, really loved it. Never heard of this story before. So can you talk to me, Ty, about adapting this story, which took place during the Great Depression?
Yeah, you bet. You know, it was a wonderfully written book by Jim Dent, and really went through a number of years, and we sort of distilled it down to the core of the story of the 12 Mighty Orphans in order to make it a 2-hour film. But it was a wonderful process. You know, my co-writer Lane Garrison and I spent about 6 months reworking a previously written script by Kevin Meyer, and our goal was to just really get it to a science on a wonderful balance between football and the sort of dramatic structure that to me drew me into the story on a deeper level, just making it more than just a sports film. You know, the story of their orphans and the story of Rusty Russell and his time in World War I, and you know, Doc Hall's sort of backstory, and everybody involved had these wonderful, rich, you know, dramatic elements in their lives that to me kind of made it stand out beyond, you know, a Hoosiers or a Friday Night Lights that a lot of the sports genres, you know, sort of aspire to be. You know, I wanted to do something different, and I think that you know, the bigger picture here really helped me to kind of guide the movie into a new territory per se for becoming not just a sports film. So, but the book really had a tremendous wealth of information there for me to draw from.
And it's not just about one person, it's about a set of people, just good people, which is rare to see in a movie, just good people. And Mr. Sheen, you played Doc Hall, great character, 30 years without getting paid as a doctor at this orphanage. I mean, what a great story. What was it like portraying somebody who's just like a good person?
It was a pleasure. It's very rare these days that I get an opportunity to play someone that I relate to so deeply and personally, and the whole experience was a celebration, and I could not have been happier with the hospitality of the community where we worked, both in Weatherford and Fort Worth, and the people all along the way were just extraordinary and so generous, and they reflected what you see in the film. But as you say, you know, to play good people, yeah, there were no villains. The depression was the villain, like what we're living through now and just emerging from this horrible pandemic. That's the villain. There are so many people. We see so many heroic people that have stepped forward and sacrificed so much during this last year and a half. And during the depression, there was a similar energy in the country that people looked left and right and didn't see anyone any better off than they were. So they pitched in and served each other and survived by coming together as a community and not thinking about themselves, but sharing what they had. And that's how heroes are created, really. You don't think of it as heroism, you just think of it as just plain humanity.
Right. And what I liked about the story, usually when you go back in time, you know, Mexican Americans have been here forever, especially in Texas, and you don't see them often. So I'm glad that you portrayed at least two of the characters in the movie. Real life people were in the movie, so I was like, yay!
Yeah.
Something.
It was really fascinating to me, you know, and I'm glad that we got to represent that, because you know, from being from Texas, it's like it's just part of who we are, you know. And I grew up, you know, around multicultural, you know, friends, whatnot, my whole life. So it was important to me, and fortunately it reflected, you know, the true story as well. So I thought that was super cool.
And Mr. Sheen, for you, you get to speak a little Spanish. You say, what is it? Muy peligroso.
I won't tell you, one of the lads had taught it to me, but you know, I'm half Spanish. My real name is Ramon Estevez. You know, my father was a Gallego from Spain. So I had a very limited experience with the language because I don't speak Spanish, but I did learn a few phrases. But one of the lads taught me that one, and I got it all wrong, and everyone laughed. And I think it's in the outtakes for your pleasure. But yeah, I was glad at least to add that element. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I really enjoyed the film more than I thought I would. So congratulations, and feel good movie. Everyone should go see it.
Awesome. Thank you, Luke. I
Gracias to you.